the page on your computer. Oh man, okay.
What?
We're live.
Oh, we are? Wait, how do I go to the page live? Oh no! Are we live right now? You're like, we should be talking?
Yes, but we have 0 viewers.
Yeah, because it takes people a while to log in. Reading Glasses podcast.
2 viewers.
Okay. Hi. But it starts recording
23
right
viewers.
now.
Oh man. All right, so you're gonna have to make it quiet on your computer. So
oh, copy that.
Hi guys, 1 sec. Okay, so you're in there as Brea Grant. Here and excited. Okay, cool. So can you set this up? Okay, cool.
What do I do? I'm in there as Brea Grant. Great.
You are Brea Grant.
Oh my god. Guys,
you know.
I'm Brea Grant and this is Mallory O'Mara and we're here to eat cookies and drink alcohol and talk about books.
Hell yeah. All right, can you set this up over there so we can
Oh, what am I doing? Yes. I can do that.
All right, can you like move that a little bit so I can see it too?
Oh, I see what we need to do. Guys, we were not prepared because I was busy playing on Instagram.
It's fine. That's what our life is.
But I'll read this stuff to you if you want me to.
Audiobook.
Oh man, people. Okay, great. So you guys, you know what you're here for. You're here to talk about Circe by Madeline Miller.
Yes.
Oh, we should talk about like why we're doing this.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna give it like another minute for people to show up.
Yeah, but it starts recording, so if they play it back, you might as well just go ahead and.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, fair enough. Okay, you're right. Hi, I'm Mallory O'Mara.
I'm Brea Grant.
And we're reading glasses. And so today we're doing a special live book club to thank all of the amazing people who supported us during the Maximum Fun Drive by talking about Madeline Miller Circe. Oh man, this is shiny.
Oh, it's so shiny.
Wow.
It's almost as shiny as our bright pale faces.
We are very pale. Also, heads up. So this is going until 7 p.m. I'm going to swear a lot. Brea might not, but just heads up for putting the little E symbol in there.
Yeah.
Because I swear a lot.
Also, I love it. They finished the book 2 hours ago, finished the book today. Mallory also read it today. I read it on a plane and I couldn't sleep when I got to Europe. This is, by the way, an alcoholic drink provided by Mallory O'Mara. What's in this? That
is actually a promotional cocktail for Nick White's brand new short story collection, Sweet and Low. And when they sent me promotional materials, they sent me a special cocktail named after the book.
Does it have Sweet and Low in it? Like
that would be yucky.
Oh, that would be yucky.
That would be like the old ladiest old lady drink.
It really would be. Doesn't Sweet and Low give you cancer or something?
Yeah, it's like aspartame.
Yeah.
Anyway, non-cancerous.
Yeah, but but what we were gonna say, Nick White was a guest on our show. One of our first. He was our first guest.
Second guest.
He was our second guest, which was really nice. So we have like a lot of love for him. We love him. Definitely check out his book. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Circe.
So, and we have some surprises for you guys. I want to give a quick shout out to Lauren Passel from Little Brown. She's the social media manager over there, and she's amazing. 1 and 2 hooked up some awesome goodies for everybody. 1, we already did a giveaway for 5 hard copies of the book. Those winners have been chosen. Oh shit, people are talking a lot.
I'll pay attention. I'll read it. You can keep talking.
Okay. So those 5 winners have already been chosen. The people who asked questions for Madeline Miller herself to answer. And I'm going to be reading those winners tonight towards the end of the show. And they won a book, and then they asked these really great questions, and Madeline Miller herself answered them. We're going to read those answers, so that's really cool. And then 20 of the wonderful people that are here tonight, 20 of the 55 people that are watching, hopefully more. If you ask a question with us in the group chat right now, 20 of you will be winning a map from the book. This sweet-ass map. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Nice. I didn't even know that. I had to, you know that Mallory takes care of everything on the show. Wow, that's cool.
I had to protect you guys, I will say, because my partner Alan saw the map and he was like, "Well, can we just take one and you only give away 19?" And I was like,
he's gonna go upstairs and join the room.
I know.
Be like, let me ask a question.
My name is Smalin Smamato. So don't worry, guys, I got your back.
But it seems like most people have read it or they've started it. Some people said that they're being a Brea today because they they're going to participate in the conversation even though they're not done with the book. So Brea is a person who doesn't care about spoilers. I don't even know. Here's the thing: it is a book. We can just start the conversation.
Yeah. So basically, it's Circe by Madeline Miller. It's based off of the Greek myth of Circe, and so it's kind of, it's like in that weird gray area of
like,
spoilers.
Will there be spoilers if it's something that's like already well known? Like if you're doing like the story of like the Bible, it's not a spoiler unless you're new and you don't know anything about the Bible. But I don't know anything about Greek mythology.
Neither do I.
So I went and actually, when I was reading it, I was telling someone what it was about, and I was like, oh wait, I don't know if this is Greek or Roman mythology, and I had to go look it up. Yeah. But now I feel like I know so much, and now I'm willing to read other books based on other mythological people, because I feel like now I'm like really in the world.
Oh yeah, totally. And that's actually, as you know, I am a Mallory, so I like to go into things not knowing anything, and that was sort of what I wanted to do with this book. Was she had written a book before called Song of Achilles, and a lot of our listeners were like, oh, should I read that first? I specifically did not read Song of Achilles first, and I specifically did not read anything about, because I knew a little bit. I took Greek mythology. I've read like Bullfinch's and Edith Hamilton's mythology. I don't fucking remember. So, but I didn't want to look up any of that stuff. I just wanted this narrative to stand on its own, and I think totally fucking did.
Oh yeah, totally. So I did look up stuff, and I was like, and basically all that,
you were
like,
Breaing yourself.
I totally just like, yeah, because well, I kept looking people up on the way too, as they were like mentioning people, because I was like, oh, well, who is that person? And the only thing really, I feel like Circe, you look her up, and the one thing they're like, she turned all these dudes into pigs, and that's like the main thing that she does. Yeah. And other than that, like, there's not a ton of information about her. Like, it doesn't come up like, you know, where I feel like a lot of people have really long Wikipedia entries. Hers is like a little bit more like, so I like that Madeline Miller did something cool with someone that we don't really talk about as much.
She's most famous. You hear most about the myth of Circe when you read the Odyssey, and also cool things. If you like this, there's a new, oh shit, hold on.
Hi. Guys, look at this creepy room we're in. Look at this room that's in Mallory's house. Look, there's like a weird, like that. What is that? Who could even say? Look at this chair we're sitting in.
There's a new translation of the Odyssey by a lady. Oh shit, it's way too pale. There's a new translation of the Odyssey. The first time the Odyssey has ever been translated by a woman. So if you were like, damn, I'm into this shit, this is a cool book to read afterwards. But that's, Circe is most known as mentioned as a character in the Odyssey. And that's the only time I had ever heard of her.
Can I just say that in the chat room, Miranda said that she liked the glossary of characters and their legends at the back. And
I didn't look at that.
I was going to say, this is the problem with being an e-reader. I didn't know that was there till I was done.
Oh, yeah.
So at the end, I was like, oh, that's cool, which was fun. I felt like it was like a revisiting of like the story. I was like, right, that person. Yeah, I read about him. And like, you know, you kind of like go through it, but it was weird because like, I wish I had known, because I probably would have used it.
Oh, see, because you're I specifically didn't look because I didn't want to like read the glossary and be like, and by the way, this character dies at the end. I'd be like, oh shit, no.
Yeah, I will say, this is a little off topic, but if you listen to Reading Glasses, you know that's what we do. I'm reading the second book in the N.K. Jemisin Stone Sky series.
Yes.
And I know after reading the first one that there's a glossary at the back of all of the various ways like the world ends, like they have all these like whatever disasters, and they call them like the shattering, the like year of the teeth, like all these horrible things. But I liked it knowing it this time, because I could go and be like, oh, what is the year of the teeth? Okay, and like I could go back and forth.
Coolest thing I've ever heard.
It involved cannibalism. That's what it was pretty awesome. Fascinating. But yeah, so I wish other people were in my shoes. I wish I had known. That actually is something I feel like for e-readers, like they need to. I guess they do put it at the beginning, but when you open your Kindle or whatever e-reader you use, it usually goes straight to chapter 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't show you.
You should go to go to the
table of contents. Yeah. I'm never gonna do that. It's just gonna take like so much time to think about possibly doing that.
So first off, did you like this book?
I did really like the book. I liked it so much that I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because I
liked it so much that I turned a bunch of men into pigs.
I took after,
just for fun.
I really liked it. I thought it was really well written. And even if it wasn't based on anything, I think it was a good, it would stand alone. If Madeline Miller right now was writing her own mythology, then I would say I would still particate in reading it. Like I didn't need to know anything about it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So you liked it?
I loved this.
You read it in like a day?
Yeah. I started I started it last night because I read so much. I didn't want to like read it 2 weeks ago and like forget anything. So I wanted it fresh as possible for you guys.
That's good. I should have done that because I've kind of forgotten some things.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
You know,
we'll figure it out.
You know all the important stuff, but I loved it. I loved how modern it felt. I loved how, even though like it's like reading a really, really great narrative nonfiction, even though like I kind of knew what was going to happen. Like I knew she was going to turn those men into pigs,
but not for a while. Like we learned a lot about her growing up. Like that, I feel like that's not something I expected to find out about. I actually didn't know what to expect because I know so little about mythology.
Yeah, it's true. So we have some discussion questions that Brea pulled that we're gonna check out. I pulled
from the internet when I was looking up discussion questions for this book. There's so many online. Okay. Okay. Did you relate to Circe? And feel free to talk about this in the room, and I'll read your answers out loud. How about that?
Yeah, I totally related to Circe. I think that was the most amazing part of this book, was that she took the super ancient myth and sort of looked at it through this really feminist lens. And Circe went through so many things that women are going through right now, besides the pig thing and like living on your own island. Like she was like, you know, she was dealing with the way that men talk to her, the way that men deal with her, the fact that, you know, for a while she was, you know, felt really powerless and then found her own power, and then they gave her shit. They didn't believe her, and then they gave her shit when they did believe her. Yeah, and like all these like really modern things that women deal with now, she was dealing with. I mean, she wasn't, because she isn't real.
But in the book, she was dealing with, and the way like her relationship with men changed. Like she was really close to her brother, but then as he got older,
he turned into a shit.
He turned into like a dick. Yeah, and so like just like the way that changed as she got older and kind of came into more power.
Yeah, I loved watching her. Like the thing I loved about her is that she was kind of humbled, probably not the right word, but she definitely through the whole time, she was like, man, I fucked up. Man, I really need to learn about this. Man, I'm like looking back on my younger self and thinking that I didn't know anything. Like the way that she, in her relationships and her personal, like all of her different types of relationships, she learned so much during them. Like not like how and when to trust. And by the end of the book, like she's in a super healthy relationship with this cool ass dude. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people can relate to.
With the dude, the son. Yes. By that end, because she had a lot of strange relationships on the way, but ones that I definitely identified with. Like I was like, oh yeah, the relationship with the guy who's like married and gonna leave sometime. I've never been in a relationship with a married man. I just want to say that for the record. But I mean, I understand. But I understand how it could happen.
But the whole part about him being her being attracted to him specifically because she knew he was gonna leave and he wasn't really nice to her, and that was part of the
unavailable.
Like we've all dated the emotionally unavailable man.
We've all dated a man that we wanted to turn into a pig.
Yes, that is very accurate. So that part I really liked, and like also her first love, Glaucus, when she was like, oh man, I finally met someone, and it doesn't matter that he's the only man I've ever been with. I will like bestow him with this great power and become a god. Oh wait, shit, he's a fucking asshole.
Oh my god. I will say I was like very angry reading that part. Because it was like this like, oh, well, did you already know the story?
No, I wasn't surprised because I was like, fucking dude.
I thought like, this is how little I know. I mean, I didn't know anything. So I was like, oh, she's going to give it to him, this like power to him. And then she's going to like bring him back, and like, they're going to like, you know, have to like fight all these people together. And it was like, no, he immediately like dropped her ass.
Oh, I knew
like left her ass, like at the, like just was like, no. And then I want one of these like thin,
nymphs.
Yeah, the nymphs. I want like a little
like nymph small upgrade.
Yeah, that was really frustrating, but also like I feel like that happens, you know? You meet someone, you help them get to a better place.
Yeah,
and they
no, I think that's so relatable for so many people, whether you're a man or a woman or you're genderqueer or you're non, like whatever you identify with. I feel like that there's so many times where you like start dating somebody, and when they get what they want from you, or you help them get somewhere, and then they get like famous or rich or, you know, become an immortal god. All of a sudden they're like, oh wait, I can get somebody. I think I can get someone who's in like a different league than you. Fuck off, bye.
I've only dated people who thought they were immortal gods, but no one who actually was. Someone, Miranda in the room said the whole theme of her either being weak or scary or scary and repulsive rings true as a binary that we still experience. Like women are either ineffectual or controlling.
Oh yeah, I totally love that part where they were like, ignore Circe, she's so useless, she's so useless. Oh my god, she can turn people into things. Banish her.
I also had like this, I related to her in that like they talked about how annoying her voice was. Because I feel like I have a very high-pitched voice.
Hey, I got my laugh.
Yeah, you got a loud laugh, and I was like, oh yeah, her voice is like annoying. Anyway, my second follow-up question to this was, would you also enjoy banishment? How would you feel about banishment?
You know, I think what's like for me, reading about her being banished is like indicative of a lot of people's experience when they go off and do their own thing for a while.
Oh, you think it's like almost it? Well, I mean,
like that's how she found herself.
Yeah, because I mean, all the mythological stories and stuff were ways for humans to understand themselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the idea, right? I'm literally asking.
Yeah,
okay, because I just am not familiar with. Obviously, they're not real stories, but they are like ways for humans to like understand their own existence.
Well, and all gods have always been sort of like avatars for one very specific type of human emotion. Like she even says it in a book at some point. She's like, you know, lust and fury, like all these big human emotions. Like the gods understand that. It's the more like subtle things like guilt.
Right.
And like regret and stuff like that. She's like, I don't know what this feels like because I am a god. Like, so yes, you're right. Like they're sort of like, you know, metaphors for stuff like that.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So she's like that she's banished and that's where she's able to find herself. For me, when she got there, I was like, what a dream. She's just in like, she is like making herb things, like making little like
it's like a little montage. She's
like, I know she just starts like picking things and making gardens and like doing. I mean,
also I have to say that if I was a goddess nymph and I was banished to an island with magical powers, that first thing I would totally do would also be to make a giant cat be my friend.
To find a best friend and a lion.
Oh yeah, when she was like, and I called her to me and a giant cat came over, I was like, yeah.
It does seem like a total dream. Like, because I mean, you know me, I love making making little like potions. I make perfumes, I make candles.
It's
like
the crafty island.
I love the crafty island. I was just like, what a wonderful place. Like it sucks these like horrible men would like crash on there and then she had to like
then she gets to craft out of the horrible men.
Crafted them. She really made lemons out of lemonade out of lemons. But literally she made lemons out of nothing. She grew things.
Yeah.
This is what happens only
that's why I was nervous about
I know. This is what happens to me. I'm jet lagged. There's so much. The people have a lot of opinions about this banishment. Let me see. Banishment with a sweet house. Ashley says, banishment with a sweet house and no way to know what you're missing out on. Sounds rad. Yeah. A world with like out Instagram, into it. Yeah. All right, the island banishment is pretty much all I want. Lions and wolves. Hell yes. Yeah, pretty awesome.
All right, you want to go to the next question?
And other people said they feel like they would struggle with banishment, but
eventually she does. That's the thing. Is she went? It's like because for a while, like somebody in the chat room made a really good point. Elizabeth made a really good point because at first, like it's like being sent to your room when you're a kid, you're a reader. You're like, oh yeah, this is fucking great. And so like her punishment is being sent away from the people who made her miserable. So it's like after a certain like. At the beginning, it's just like just being away from those people is amazing. But once she starts to realize that there are good people in the world and she's being kept from them, that's when she's like, oh fuck, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Can we just like, this is not on my question, but can we talk about the nymph that turned into
Scylla?
Yes. Is it Scylla?
Yeah.
Scylla. Yeah. Can we just talk about like that as a like? Do we feel like that punishment was just? Was that like a cool punishment?
That's sort of what I loved about this book is that originally, like Circe's like, oh fuck, what have I done? But she's more upset about all the.
This has alcohol in it because it tastes so good. Sorry.
But Circe's more upset about all the people that died. But Scylla, she's sort of making this observation. She's like, wow, she's still kind of getting what she wanted. She's getting all this attention. She's like ruining the lives of men.
Oh, you think that like Scylla? Because the whole thing is like they're turning into like their true selves or something.
Yeah.
And her true self is she wants to like ruin people's lives.
Well, it's her true self as looked through the lens of Circe too.
Right.
So
right. Yeah. Exactly.
But she's still like, still was a person. All of the nymphs, they delighted in like fucking with people, like pretending that she likes someone and actually not really. Like, so it's just an extreme form of that. Yeah,
that's true. It did bum me out.
It still sucks.
Yeah, she like. I think the only part that bummed me out was. By the way, there's so many spoilers in this, but I'm just sorry. And when there's a part where she sees her later and she realizes Scylla has like
her mind's gone.
Her mind is gone, and then I was like, oh, that's a bummer. You know that she has no sense of it, but maybe also pretty good. Maybe a blessing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay, other questions that we come up with. People are talking. Do we think Miller? Oh yeah, we talked about this already. The turning men into swine is like a kind of what it's a very timely thing.
Yeah. So yeah, was there anything that stuck out to you about this book? Like, did you highlight anything?
I did highlight some things, but they were not. They were just like things that I liked. But
there were a lot of really good lines in this book.
I did like this line. This is so specific, but there was a part where it like said, "Frail she was, but crafty, with a mind like a spike-toothed eel." Yeah, which I was like, that's horrifying.
Yeah,
that's
really just like take a quick second to talk about how good the writing was in this book. Like some of the lines were amazing. Everything was she breathed so much life into this myth, and like you felt like you knew these people. You like were right there on her sweet little island. Like, the writing was just amazing.
Also, it's like the horrific stuff was written really beautifully. Like when a man comes and attacks her for the first time, really hard to read, but also like felt very truthful.
Yeah,
and not like
not gratuitous.
Madeline Miller didn't come to fuck around, right? Yeah. She came to like tell us the truth of what the story is and the truth and how horrible it was. So yeah, if there's lines you guys liked or anything you highlighted, put them in the chat room because I want to read them out loud.
Oh, great lines!
Great lines.
There were some really good lines in this book. Let me tell you. Speaking of, I'm surprised that none of the cats are around.
Yeah, no cats in here, guys. I put a quiz on Twitter today about which cats would show up here. And then right now there's none. Probably because we're talking.
I could probably go grab one.
I wrote. This is a question I just had generally, which was, in what ways does Miller take Lilith Circe's story? Because I don't know.
We will know later when we hear from Madeline.
Also, why don't you read that? Do you want to read that? Or you want to wait till the end?
Let's just wait till the end.
Okay.
Also, I just want to shout out to everybody. I mean, we read this book. We love this book, but we read this book because this was the one that got the most votes.
Mm-hmm.
I think, by far, this was the one that the most people voted for, like on Facebook, and it was Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and people emailed. Like, this was the one that people wanted. I was kind of nervous because I was like, what if I don't like the book that everybody chooses? But like, thank you everyone who voted for this book. It's like a good fucking pick.
Well, do you think also, I do think there is something about when you take a story that people know but are able to do something new with it.
Oh yeah.
That helps because it's not just like a book out of nowhere where you're like, I made up a lady and guess what she does? Like that's like a little harder for people to relate to, but with this, because I think a lot of people who read the book or wanted to read the book came in with already a background knowing about Circe.
Yeah,
a little bit. Unlike you and I.
Julia just said summon the cats. I will eventually, if none of them show up, I will eventually go grab some cats, guys. There are many.
When somebody's wheelhouse involves for main characters who have ferocious animals as best friends. It's sort of just like a dream. Like I wish that I had. Not necessarily. What animal would you have? I'd rather have.
I think about this all the time because I'm a big fan of the Golden Compass series.
Oh, sure.
And your daemon is an animal. It's like your soul outside your body.
Right.
And I haven't decided what mine would be. It would probably be Lula, my cat.
It'd be a cat. It'd be a specific cat, not just a cat.
Lula. I think of Lula as my daemon.
No, I want a real big one that could fight battles for me.
But Lula can like
my daily battles.
All the people that Brea has to murder on a daily basis.
But I do want I want like a bear or like just something much bigger than me. I mean, I want a luck dragon, but if we have to choose something real, it's harder, you know. Yeah,
a bear would be good. A very large lion.
Something like kind of snuggly though, like maybe a panda.
But I would have to get a bigger bed. I already have a hard time with the cats.
If you had a bear living with you, I don't think you would just have to live somewhere. You live in a cave.
I think we could fit a bear in this apartment. I think we could do it. Maria, you were not the only one who cried multiple times.
Which part did you cry? Talk about when you cried.
Talk about when you cried.
Tell me when you cried.
I got pretty emotional at the end. It was just like so cathartic to see her journey from like her own interpersonal journey, like finding her strength and finding her purpose and going through all these shitty relationships with these jerks. Also, quick shout out. I love all the like all the shade thrown at Odysseus, because that's part of what I loved about this book. Although I will say this book, I don't think passed the Bechdel test. That's my single complaint about this book.
Well, you don't think when she talked to Odysseus's wife?
But they're always talking about either Odysseus or his sons.
Maybe she talked to her mom? I don't know. You know,
it's very.
Listen, if you have a banished character on an island, then I think the Bechdel test is like irrelevant.
I know, but like that was, and like I didn't. It was literally my only complaint for this book was that I wish there was a little bit more like interpersonal relationships with women that weren't about men.
I just don't know. She just doesn't have that many relationships.
Yeah, no.
She has like one.
Yeah, she gets a pass because she's banished on an island. But I love all the shade that gets thrown at Odysseus, because that he's like the Odyssey. Homer's The Odyssey is one of our most enduring myths and books and stories that people know, and it's so iconic. And that we don't get as many stories about women. So I love that this book that's all about Circe is like, by the by, Odysseus was a piece of shit, and I'm about to tell you why. Like I love that.
Also, is that true to mythology? How he died?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I asked my fiance when I was with him, I was like, do you know how Odysseus died? And he thought that was right, that how it is in the book.
That sounds right-ish.
Some people put some quotes I'm going to read to you.
Oh, cool.
It is time for you to go now. Alecto does not like to leave me for long. Her cruelty springs fast as weeds and must any moment be cut again.
Oh, that's a good one.
It was a strange way to put it.
Actually, yes, I have read the Book of Dust.
I waited for someone to remark on my absence, but no one did, for no one had noticed. Why would they? I was nothing, a stone. One more nymph child among the thousand thousands. The thousand thousands is a very good line.
That's a good one.
Good. But in solitary life, there are rare moments when another soul dips near yours as stars once. This is what happens when I have more than like a sip of alcohol. But in a solitary life, there are rare moments when another soul dips near yours as stars once a year brush the earth. Such a constellation was he to me. That's very cute. And then there was another one.
Yeah, I also got a little emotional when her lion died.
Oh, yeah.
Because cat death, and I got emotional when I can't find my cat for more than 5 minutes.
Someone says, what about when she was talking to her sister with the childbirth scene?
Oh, yeah. I think that, and actually I went back, once I was thinking about this, I actually went back through the book, and I think that's like the one.
I forgot totally about that part where she goes and like, there's like,
I'm so,
you're about Minotaur
obsessed.
You're about, is it Minotaur or Minotaur?
I say Minotaur, but I'm from New England.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I disregard everything I say.
No, I think that.
But I love that part.
Yeah, the minute I didn't remember that story either. I didn't remember there was like a maze involved.
Yeah,
like it was like
a labyrinth.
Yeah. Oh, right. Literally, it's a labyrinth. But yeah, I forgot about that whole section with the sister and the like. She had sex with the cow and.
Would you have gone to help her? I'm just gonna say, and maybe this is because I'm not as nice as you are. I wouldn't have gone to help her sister. I would have been like, "Oh, you've been mean to me my whole life, and now you need some help, and you're coming to my nice, sweet island where I'm making a dress."
Like, people who've got like fucked up families, and they're like, "I got to go help my family and do this thing," and I'm like, "Why? Your family is not nice to you." Yeah. And like people will go do that kind of stuff. I don't know. That's what I did. Like have moments where she's like talking about her siblings and stuff, and I was like, "These people were really awful to you. You should just move on from them." But also, they're the only people she has.
Yeah, and I will say that her going to help birth the Minotaur, that led to one of my favorite conversations in the entire book, where she's asking her sister why she's such a fucking bitch, and like she's explaining to Circe why she's like that, why she hated her family, and like explaining to her like, I'm a nymph, like this is the only power that I have, I am not a god, like this is, I was doomed to like marry this demigod guy that I don't even like this is all that I have. And it was a really incredible moment because you were just sort of like, you suck, but I understand kind of why. Also, I love that part where like they're trying to, like Cersei's trying to figure out how the Minotaur happened, and she's like, "Yeah, I fucked the bull, whatever."
Yeah.
She's like, "Get this baby out of me!"
I fucked the bull. Like, get this thing out.
Like she's like, "Who cares?"
It is really horrifying to like that. Like she opens her up, and then she reaches her hand in, and he like bites you. That is like basically my nightmare when it comes to like.
That's such a specific.
But I'm
my Brea's worst nightmare is I'm performing a cesarean section.
No.
Okay, God.
That's not my nightmare. My nightmare is like that I would somehow give birth to a demon baby and don't know what to do.
That's the only best kind of baby I would want. So that's cool because you can have a demon baby and I'll take it.
I just have this fear because I'm like, if you have a baby and you're like, this is probably the Antichrist or something, like, what do you do?
Give it to me.
Because you're like, it has like the stigmata, like it has a little like crazy tail with like a devil tail. Like, what do? You like are in this weird situation and you're the only person. Because every time I'm watching a movie where a woman, sorry, off topic, a woman gives birth to like some sort of devil baby, the woman's always like, I can't hurt my baby, and I'm like, kill that baby. Like that baby's it's gonna cause like the world to end. You gotta get rid of that baby.
Or just give it to Mallory.
I guess that's what. But then you would raise it and bring the world to an end.
No, I would make it cool. I would turn it into a goth.
Listen,
and it would like be so sad
when
it wouldn't want to do
Satan
anything.
is born again or whatever happens, like then the world ends because like
is that how it happens?
Yeah.
I just thought he was kind of like cool.
What is people are like, please quit talking. It's really a scary thing.
If you have a demon baby, you get a reality TV show. It's true.
Yeah. Scene in
okay, next let's look at the next question.
Okay. Sorry. Let's see. If Greek mythology was meant to explain humans to other humans. Right. This is what does this story do for our time? So I guess the question is, at the time, Circe was turning these men into swine. Do we think that was like a tale, a parable to people to be like, hey, don't go around raping women. They might turn you into swine. Like, was that like a tale?
What's interesting is I don't, and I'm just completely speaking, I don't know if this is true or not. I can look it up afterwards, and I don't know if there's going to be show notes for this. I can put it in the comments, whatever. But I don't think that it was ever explicit that these men were trying to rape her.
In the original mythology.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I think it was just Madeline Miller. That's what's sort of amazing about her doing this retelling of the story is that like a dude reading this might just be like, oh yeah, they're just like there to eat her food. Every lady or like non-binary person is like, these dudes aren't just there for fucking meat, okay?
Like right. Because if we're talking about like Greek mythology or something. Yeah. This was like a bunch of dudes writing like, what would be the worst thing that could happen? So
I get my biscuits stolen when a woman's like, I know it really is gonna happen. So I don't think it was ever explicit, but I definitely think, and that's what's sort of interesting about this is after a while, she's just like, she can recognize exactly like the way that they look at her. She knows what's about to go down.
Right. Yeah. And not all of them did.
No. But Odysseus, I'll give him that. He didn't. He was pretty cool in that way.
But it's like I don't think Madeline Miller was like, I'm going to write this as a tale for our time to see like. But if she did write it in that way, I think what she was saying was pretty explicit. But I think she was also saying, like, if it was like a warning tale to people who are reading it currently right now, just like Greek mythology was. I feel like she was also just saying, a lot about like the human experience, but about like becoming your true self, which is like a dorky way to put it, but like that is like what happened. Is it like I feel like Circe spent so much time trying to be a god and be like hang out with these people and do exactly what they were like they told her to do, and then what she did is she found herself after she made a bunch of mistakes and
got away from them.
After she got away from them, she actually did find out who she was. Yeah, because she was like way more powerful than they could ever imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
So I feel like if like we took I feel like maybe I'm saying this is confusing, but if you take like Greek mythology and you're like, this is this is what I did for them. What this story does for us?
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of it.
Yeah, I think that's totally it. And it's really a story of her finding herself, literally finding her power and going through all these stages where she's trying to please her father, and then she's trying to please Glaucus, and then she's just like completely lost until she finds this other thing of like, she's like, I'll just turn everybody into pigs. And she's never really looking at what she wants. And like, she's always either trying to be too much of a god or trying to be too much of a mortal. And she's like caught in this weird in-between place. And it's really, and like a lot of it's about like female power and like how she finds that, and like talking to other, like, it's just, I think it felt so modern. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so how do you feel about her transition into motherhood?
That was an interesting part of the book for me, because it felt like right off the bat, it was one of those weird moments as a reader where you're seeing something happen and you're seeing all the problems come out, where I'm like, oh, she lives on a little island. This kid is not going to want to stay there forever. But it was really interesting. It was a different way. It was a way of her to look at herself totally differently.
Yeah, it changed her identity a lot.
Oh,
because she went from being this kind of like badass, like, I'm going to turn all of you into pigs, and like, doing her own thing.
She's like, everyone stay away so I can be with my son.
But it made her create even like more powerful magics than she ever had. Because she put the whole, what do you call this?
Shield?
I guess force field?
What's it called when it's magic?
Force field. It's a force field shield. I don't remember what she called it. But like, she made it so people couldn't
in the last Harry Potter movie where there's at the Battle of Hogwarts and Professor Flitwick makes the shield. Okay.
I don't know. But I'm sure it's true. I just don't know. I just don't remember it very well.
Oh yeah, I also Ashley Stone. I love Barrier.
Thank you.
Hey, look at all these smart people. I did love that. That was part of what was so relatable. Like, I'm not a mother. I have a lot of cats, but no humans. I think it was so relatable that she was like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. There was a lot of parts throughout the whole book where it was kind of amazing, where she was just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know what I'm doing. And she's just trying. And I feel like that's so relatable in every aspect of life, no matter what stage of life you're at. Mm-hmm. And that's what I kind of love. There was a moment where she was like, I've been alive for thousands of years and I have no fucking clue what I'm doing.
But do you think she was overprotective with her son?
Oh, well, it's hard to say because he was literally being chased down by Athena. So it's like...
Which every mother can relate to. Every woman knows that their son is really overprotective
if Athena wants to murder your son.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because there were parts of me that was like, just let him go. He's being complicated. Like, just let him do his thing. But then there were other parts of me.
Let him go listen to
But when she did let him go, I was actually like, don't let him go. Like, I was like, you should just tell him what's actually going to happen. But I felt like she quit trying to argue with him.
Yeah, well, and that was a really cool moment where he was like, I don't even care if I die. At least I'll be able to, like, go see the world for a second. You could, like, see that moment where she was like, oh, fuck. He can't live like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting because I feel like you saw her really grow up, but also get more willing to sacrifice parts of herself for him.
Yeah,
which she hadn't done up until that point. She just kind of lived this like selfish, lonely existence up until then. But got to see her like embrace this new part of her identity, which so a lot of people, not all people, but some people go through as they age and have children. I had one more question, but then if the room wants to start asking questions,
well, why don't we? We can read the question. Let's announce the winners.
Oh, okay, let's do that. You want to do that now?
Yes. So
oh wait, I want to talk about one other thing.
Okay,
this defining moment with Prometheus, when at the beginning where she gives him like a piece of bread or something. What does she give him?
She gives him a cup of nectar.
Oh, maybe.
Because gods drink nectar. I think
gods have the grossest food. Let's talk about that for a second. More important, let's fuck Prometheus. Like, gods have, like, they like to drink nectar, and then don't they like that
gods
stuff?
Are bugs.
There's that stuff that, like, I feel like we always used to make in the South called
moonshine.
No, someone's gonna know. It's ambrosia. It's ambrosia, which is like a white. That's what my aunt called it, but it's like a white candy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You called it ambrosia, and it's like a white candy of some sort. It was nasty. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, Ashley Stone was like.
Ambrosia. If someone knows how to make an ambrosia.
Nectar, yeah. See,
but nectar, like, that's such a, what are they? Like hummingbirds? Like, that's what I think of as drinking nectar. Anyway, okay, this Prometheus moment. I feel like that was like this defining moment. It kept going, oh no, we lost Mallory. Divinity. Divinity is the name of the thing that white stuff that my aunt would always try to give me. It was always in like a tin, and you open it up, and it was like some sort of like, almost like a white fudge, if I'm remembering it correctly. Oh, you're right. And ambrosia is also a fruit salad with Cool Whip in it. Just mix that together. Southern people, like gods, eat weird food.
And at the end of Circe, all the gods move
divinity
to Alabama.
Totally divinity. Anyway, Prometheus. We'll put a pin in divinity and come back. So maybe someone will have a recipe. I think my mom is watching this. I know she has a recipe for divinity.
Hi, Brea's mom.
And for ambrosia. Prometheus, there was this big thing where she gave Prometheus some nectar or whatever, and she kept coming back to that.
Well, because that was, I think, one of the defining moments of the book, because it was the first time she had ever seen a god have humanity. It was that moment where she was like, oh, wow, what's happening to you is really shitty right now. And he's like, yep. And she's like, wait a minute, you knew this was going to happen to you. And he was like, yep.
I also think it was one of her first moments of defiance.
It was the first moment of defiance, and also her first moment. It was like her biting the apple. See, using Bible references.
There you go. Good. You just mixed the Bible with mythology. But yeah, it was her first, like, all the gods say, this is what you're supposed to do. And she, like, looks around, she's like, well, maybe I should do something else that's not the thing that everyone else is doing, because she, like, felt in her bones it was right.
Yes.
Which I thought was really interesting. Coming back to it again and again, I felt like I was kind of beyond that point at some point where I was like, I got it. Yeah, Prometheus. I got it. But I, like, and I kind of thought there would be more of a conclusion with that, I guess.
Oh, I think just like in real life, a defining moment that you have when you're younger ends up having different definitions as you get older. Because at first it was like, hey, I did something different. I'm defying my dad. Mm-hmm. And then it was, oh, I'm seeing the gods act differently. Then it was her seeing there's a different path. Like I feel like every time she brought it up, it was her looking at it in a different way. Like it meant something different to her.
Yeah. So it's like, which I think we do in real life. Like these moments, like, because, there's this whole thing about, like, memories. Like, when you are remembering something that happened, you're actually remembering your memory.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
So, like, the first time it happens, you're there. The second time it happens, like, you remember it. And the third time, you're remembering that memory. And that's why, like, people can, like, convince themselves of things that aren't true.
Totally.
And whatever.
That's how cults get started.
That's how cults get started?
Yeah.
Go on.
Like, when people start telling you things over and over again and you keep repeating it to yourself, to your head, all of a sudden it seems real.
All of a sudden it seems true. And so maybe that's what it is. It's like she sort of, like, starts remembering it with, like, different things. My mom's texting me to tell me what ambrosia is. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Ambrosia, my mom doesn't know how to get in the chat room, but she says,
oh my God.
Ambrosia is fruit salad with Cool Whip. Someone was correct. Divinity is white eggs and sugar. Egg whites.
Egg whites and what is that even?
Which is like a meringue. That's what meringue is also.
Oh, I don't know how to make food. All right. So the first winner.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we're moving on. Yeah, let's do it. Is this an email? Should I pull this up?
It's in the doc.
Oh, you did it. Oh, look at what you did.
So the first winner is Laura Klinkner, and she wanted to know how much of the novel comes from the original texts. You want to read that while I grab a cat?
Oh my God, there's so Madeline Miller wrote us back.
Yeah.
And the answers are a little long. So maybe I'll truncate them a little bit, but we love that you wrote us back. But I might reading out loud. We can post these somewhere. But I'll kind of, okay. All right, so how much comes from original text?
To spice things up.
Homer's portrait of Circe was my starting point. In the Odyssey, as in my novel, Circe is the daughter of the sun god Helios and sister of Aeetes. We don't know if that's how you pronounce it. She's a witch who lives on the island of Aeaea, surrounded by tame lions and wolves capable of turning men into pigs. Homer describes her speaking like a mortal, which became significant to me because it seemed to imply that she was a creature with a foot in two worlds, divine and mortal, belonging to neither. She also has she's also much more complex in Homer than she is in later representations. So often she's portrayed as a villainous man-hater, the ultimate scheming temptress. Oh, we have a cat joining us. My cat. That's Lula. But after she and Odysseus become lovers, she invites him and his men to stay with her, entertains them for a year, and helps him on his way with excellent advice when he wants to leave. She becomes one of the most positive figures he encounters. Her benevolent side is as strong as her menacing, angry side, if not stronger, and it felt important for me to highlight that. Other than that, there are a few minor myths that were my touchstones in terms of plot. The love triangle with Glaucus and Scylla is from mythology, as is Circe turning Scylla into a monster. So that part's true. Ditto, the visit of Jason and Medea, though I've been in the conversation between the aunt and the niece. The last part of the novel draws on the lost epic, the Telegony. I don't listen. I don't know. In it, Telegony. Telegonus. Oh no,
it's fine.
Circe's son with Odysseus goes looking for his father with a stingray tail spear. Telegonus and Odysseus have the encounter they have in the novel, and then Penelope and Telemachus do return with him to meet Circe. But how that plays out emotionally, several of the final encounters, and the ending, all of her own. So does that mean that she didn't end up with Telegonus?
Maybe.
I guess not.
I don't think so.
There were besides two myths where Circe wasn't explicitly a part of the story, but imagining her interact felt natural. The first of these was Prometheus, which we talked about, and Pasiphae, Circe's sister, is the mother of the Minotaur, and she included Circe there. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So she's not there originally, but
Madeline
Miller added
yeah,
her.
actually, yeah.
Everything else was my imagination. That's pretty cool, guys. Oh, everybody loves this kitty. Sorry, guys, I have to switch screens when it comes. All right, great. So that's our first winner.
Awesome.
Next winner.
And I will be messaging, emailing people, and getting your contact information so that the people from Little Brown can send you a book after all this. The second one is Beth Ussery. Mm-hmm. What primary sources did you use to craft this book? Did you have any favorite translations? And Madeline said, I use Ovid's Metamorphosis.
Should I go get a cat while you're reading this?
Yeah, go grab one.
Pick a cat. Any cat. Which cat will I find?
They're probably out on the catio. You can call Sailor. Oh, you can grab some cat treats. Sailor Ripley.
Wait. Okay.
Is there one over there?
A cat or a treat?
A cat.
Sailor.
So she used Ovid's Metamorphosis, Virgil's Aeneid, Homer's Iliad, Homer's Odyssey, Apollonius of Rhodes' Argonautica, Tennyson's Ulysses, Shakespeare's Troilus and Cressida, Sophocles' tragedy, Philoctetes, and lots more. Tennyson's poem. This is Sailor. This is my other kitten.
Can I just say something? It's getting a little big.
I know. I know, that's my fault. He's chunky. He's getting to be big. But he's just so handsome.
He's handsome.
He's my boy.
I picked him up and he went,
He always does that. That's
he's not stoked. Oh, are you stoked?
He's
stoked. He hates it. He hates me.
It's okay. So yeah, those were all the primary sources that she used. The more I wrote, the more Tennyson's poems seemed to hover in the background.
She wrote out these really nice. We should put these answers somewhere because they're very nicely written, and we're probably not doing them at all.
Yeah, we'll just post them. But those were the primary sources, and her favorite translations. These are all her favorites.
Oh, cool.
But there are more primary sources, but these were the ones that she liked.
Oh, she did a lot of work.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
What did I do? I pressed something.
I don't know what you're trying to do.
Scrolling.
Go back to the chat room, see what they said about this cat.
Oh, this
guys, what do you feel about which cat do you like best? Oh, they said catio. They want to know about the catio.
Oh, Alan and I have an outdoor patio for the cats that I call the catio, and it's accessible only to the cats, and they can go in and out, and that's where we keep the litter box.
It's true.
Sailor here.
When you walk into their house, sometimes there's cats outside of the catio just hanging out, looking at you walk by. Sarah Short says, this is our third winner. Why did you choose to feature these particular protagonists? There's a ton of characters to choose from in Greek mythology, so I'm curious why you chose Circe. Should we get another cat while I answer this question?
I'll get a cat.
Okay. Okay. So why Circe is the question. Thank you, Sarah Schwartz. She says, Madeline Miller says, I didn't feel like I had a choice. She grabbed hold of me and wouldn't let go. I've been fascinated with her since I was a child, and she kept nudging me as I studied classics as an adult. I loved her power and independence, and let's be honest, her tame lions didn't hurt either. I like that she liked the lions just like us. But I was always disappointed at how brief her appearance in the Odyssey was. It felt so unjust. There are so few female characters in Greek myths who have her complexity and power. In writing the novel, I wanted to flip the script to make it her the epicenter and Odysseus as the cameo. I think we still hesitate to give female characters the same complexity, three-dimensionality, and scope that male protagonists have by right. I am a lifelong feminist, yay, Madeline Miller, but it shouldn't be considered feminist to have fully three-dimensional female characters who drive action. That should just be normal. I also love how Circe's story touched the stories of so many interesting and, in some cases, largely unexplored women. Her sister, her mother, Medea. It's going to be a lot of names, guys. Ariadne, Penelope, Athena. All these interesting female characters struggle with the same thing Circe does, but they find very different paths through them. I was excited to explore the challenges of her relationships with them and with the equally complex men in the story, tracking how her understanding of each evolves over the course of her life. Finally, of course, there's a tantalizing central mystery of Homer. Why is Circe turning men into pigs? And how did she come to such a power? She was born a nymph, the lowest low of the low in the divine hierarchy, prayed to the greater gods. Rather than accept that diminished place, Circe literally invents her own power. She's the first witch in Western literature. You love that.
I do.
And manages to carve out a life for herself. I find it very inspiring. And we have a new cat.
This is Banshee.
He looks like that cat that plays keyboard. Banshee is usually not very friendly and doesn't like to play.
Oh, he's very cuddly just with me, though.
He never wants to hang.
Banshee, you want to snack?
Here. Get you a snack. Some people let their cats into the backyard. People want that catty out. Uh-oh, here comes more cats wanting those snacks, though. That's a good question. I like that Circe chose her. Okay. Next question.
Next one is Siobhan Smith. Oh
no.
This is how my life is all the time.
Truly.
Hex, Breathion. Siobhan Smith asked, why do you think hey, nobody fights. Why do you think the story of Circe is relevant today? Oh man, I keep fucking it up.
Sorry.
It's okay. Madeline Miller says, we made some real progress in female equality, but we still have a long way to go. For millennia, women have struggled to be heard, to find a place for themselves that is safe in a man's world, and to steer their own identity. Silencing women, controlling them, assaulting them, belittling them, these things are sadly timeless, and Circe struggles with all of them. In the Odyssey, Circe is the incarnation of male anxiety about female power. The fear seems to be that if women have power, the men have to be pigs. The only one group can be empowered at a time. The fear is still very alive and well today, though I think it could not be more false.
Sorry, this is moving because there's a cat on the table.
Lula, off. Lula. Fear is still very alive and well today, though I think it could not be more false. I am a firm believer that giving women more freedom helps men as well, freeing them from their own constrictions. So yeah, that's sort of part of why this story is absolutely relevant today and why it feels so modern, especially with all the Me Too stuff that's going on right now. And there's a lot of like garbage men out there that are like, oh, but if feminism exists, then all people will hate men and men will have no power. And we all know that that's bullshit and that toxic masculinity enslaves men just like it hurts women.
Okay.
And that's part of why this is so powerful.
Also, just to touch back on like the thing right before this is that I do like that Circe is like a complicated character. Because I think that this problem happens where people are like, oh, we got to make all our female characters like good people. Where it's like, no, I want them to like make mistakes and do like shitty things. Because as it turns out, like people make mistakes and do shitty things, and surprise, women are people. So like women should also act like other people in stories. Crazy. And I like that Circe was a complicated character. Wow, she really goes for it when you give her a snack. These cats are going wild, you guys. All right, last question.
All right, I'm gonna go get Hex.
What a treat you guys are in for. That's 3 cats. You're about to see a 4th.
Hex is Brea's boyfriend, too.
He is. Hex is the one that I can't believe he's not here on my lap right now. Quick question. Someone wants to know, does Mallory have 6 or 7 cats? I'll let her answer when she gets back. The last winner of this is Allie Dahl. Allie asks, are there any other myths, Greek or otherwise, that you'd like to explore in a future book? And Madeline Miller says, yes, I am looking towards the guys, I don't know how to pronounce words. Aeneid, Aeneid, which is Virgil's great epic about the mythical founder of the Roman people. And there are a number of characters I'm finding myself drawn to. It's still early, so I'm not naming names yet, but I will say I just bought several books on Carthage. I also love Shakespeare and would love to write about the Tempest at some point. Super cool. So thank you for all those questions, for sending those in early and letting us send them to
it's your girlfriend,
Madeline. By the way, they said they want to know if you have 6 or 7 cats. Important question. This is Hex.
I have 7. There are 6 that live inside and 1 that lives outside.
That's why we say 6 because, like,
I say 7. My boyfriend says 6 because he doesn't want to be a crazy cat person.
One chooses not to live inside with all the other cats. Wait, just look at this, your beautiful face.
I know.
Look at this crazy face. Do you want a treat?
You want a treat, Hex?
Hex says, I would like to get the fuck out of here. No, like all this attention. Okay, so guys, we have about 5 minutes left. Does anyone want to throw some questions in? They could be about anything. They can be about us. They can be about the book. They can be your thoughts about the book. Whatever you want. Hex is like, I'm interested in sitting on your lap, but not interested in sitting on here.
Yeah, they're a little stressed out. All right.
Adam, by the way, says reading Circe made me want to read the source materials, but I know it'll just be depressingly man-heavy. I agree. Also, I don't tend to read this kind of source material, like a straight up, like, I'm not going to read the Odyssey anytime soon.
Well, you could read this translation of it.
Oh, people have questions. Okay, which scene in the book resonated with you most?
Honestly, I think it's the one where she's talking to her sister. And it was so incredible to see this character that you thought was so okay, all the cats are around now.
Yeah, you're going to put those up.
That you thought was so one-dimensional and so villainized. And it didn't, unvillainize her, but it made you understand her, which I really, really liked. And I just thought it was so illuminating and so magical. And yeah, it just really stuck with me. What about you, Brea?
The whole book really resonated with me. I would say, like, especially like the beginning where she's just like feeling like an outcast among all these people, and she's supposed to be like them, but also they find her annoying and she can't like quite find her way, and then she falls in love with this human and that seems wrong. She tries just like all the like sort of like mistakes she made along the way. And not even that they're mistakes, they were just like life choices that didn't work out the way she wanted them to. I feel like that was like, that really sort of resonated with me. What about Rex recommendations if you liked Circe?
I was gonna grab Logan, but well, yeah, I would. If you like this book, I would definitely read. Her name is Emily Wilson with 1 L. Translation of the Odyssey. Also, this summer, a friend of ours, Maria Devana Headley, is coming out with a updated modern retelling of Beowulf called It's called The Meerwife. I have a copy of it.
Someone, by the way, said I start with The Power, which I agree with. That's a really cool one. I mean, it's just, it isn't based on any sort of source material, but it is like a cool feminist fiction book.
So it's called The Meerwife. It's by FSG, who's a publisher I really like, and a friend, Maria. She's a great writer. But it's a retelling of Beowulf from the point of view of Grendel's mother in like a modern suburb. And this would be it comes out next month. It comes out July 17th. So I would pre-order this if this is like your jam.
I'm trying to think if I can think of any. There was a retelling of, or it's like an imagining of Einstein's wife that I really like. Einstein? It's not right. It's This Is What Happens Every Time.
No, it was Einstein's wife because she's the one who was she was the smarter one.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. What is that book called? Einstein's Wife book. Maybe it might be called Einstein's.
I think it might be called Einstein's Wife. Einstein's Wife novel.
Let's see. It's
The
called
Other Einstein.
The Other Einstein. Also like a cool feminist retelling about her because she was basically like just as smart as him and doing all the shit he was doing. I may have talked about it on our show.
Yeah,
actually, we have talked about it. But that's like a cool like retelling.
And to answer your question, yes, I'm totally interested in reading Song of Achilles.
Yeah.
If I had to choose a patron goddess, it totally would be Athena because I still think she's my favorite Greek god.
Oh, I don't have a favorite Greek god.
She's just like badass.
Well, mine's Circe now. Like that's a cool person.
Yeah, fair enough.
I thought she was so rad. What did you get from the book about people who come into our lives for a short time? That's not something we talked about, which I do like because I do think that happens in real life where people come in your life and then they leave.
I can't eat cookies now because I have cat food all over my hands.
Well, you can. You can choose to.
Not gonna happen.
What would Circe do? But I do think that's a good point about people coming to our lives for a short time.
It was really cool to see the way time worked with her because she was immortal. And also the ending, when I figured it out what the ending was going to be like a chapter ahead of time, and I realized what she was actually going to use, what she was actually going to do, and I was like, feelings.
Yeah.
That killed me. But it was interesting for her to like meet these people and like with the knowledge that they were going to die.
Yeah. Yeah. Which that's kind of crazy because like everyone she knows dies.
Yeah.
All these people she's met not the other gods, but like, yeah. Someone asked which Greek god or Titan best represents Banshee, or I would say Lula, because that's the one you always like to talk about.
Lula's Athena, full stop. She's a bad bitch. I don't know if you guys can't see, but Lula is like by and large the smallest cat, and she rules the roost. And you couldn't see it, but I'm giving treats to all the cats, and Lula is just punching them all in the face to get away, so she can be the one who gets the most treats. She is the goddess of war. It is true.
Okay, that takes us to 7:00, by the way, which is what time we're supposed to have.
Oh wow.
People are saying they're having trouble with Goodreads, and I didn't know.
Maybe are we crashing Goodreads right now?
I don't know. I haven't had any problems with Goodreads.
I will say I've had I went to go on Goodreads the other day and it was down.
Why? You don't know? It didn't say. It's just like
sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
which is very frustrating, and you have that moment of like internet panic when something that you want isn't there.
Yeah, I'd have that for sure. Like,
Alan, is Baratheon up there? Oh. Sorry, guys, I couldn't show you all the cats.
Logan, but you got to see like 5.
You got to see 4.
4.
Jinx lives outside, and then you didn't see Logan, who's our all-black goth cat, and Baratheon, who's our very white cat.
Who's the god of reading? We don't know.
Who is closest to being the god of reading? I think it would be Apollo is the god of poetry. Sailor Ripley, which is kind of close. Probably the closest you're going to get with Greek gods.
No.
Athena is also the goddess of wisdom.
Right, that's true.
So maybe somewhere in between there.
Mm-hmm. But in like, I was trying to think of like a real person that would be the god, but I have nothing clever.
Well, we're the goddesses of reading.
That's what we should say on the beginning of our podcast now. Like
goddess. I'm Brea Grant, actress, filmmaker, and
goddess of reading.
Hermes. Yeah, we didn't even talk about Hermes.
What happened with Hermes?
He just like sort of flitted in and out.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he did. He caused a lot of trouble, though.
Yeah, but I think that's like Hermes' jam.
Well, yeah, that's his whole thing.
But I think that was kind of amazing how she was like I think we've all been in a relationship or a friendship in that way where you're like, I know that you're only here to like because I'm interesting and you're bored, but I'm not ready to give this up yet.
Right, and I'm not. I know
she's so lonely. She's like, I know you're a piece of shit,
and I know I shouldn't trust you.
Yeah,
but I'm going to trust you like in a limited capacity because I'm going to let it go as far as it. But then that should have been her in the ass real hard, unfortunately. Which is what happens with those kind of people. You trust those people for like a second, and then
that's absolutely true. LeVar Burton is the god of reading.
Oh, good call. The god, LeVar Burton. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
This is amazing. All 50-ish of you.
Yeah, this is so exciting. We didn't know how this would go, and it's been very fun.
We've never done anything like this, so thank you for looking at my very adorable cats.
and there's always a chance we can do more. When we originally thought about doing the podcast, we thought this would be like doing a book club would be like a regular.
Yeah, this is what we thought. Like way early on in reading classes, this is what we thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. So here's a taste of what that would be.
What could have been, not what it's like now.
But if you were interested in that, let us know. Like email us at readingglassespodcast@gmail.com. If by some crazy chance you have never listened to the podcast and you're just watching this. I don't know why you would
This is what it's like. Just a bunch of banter about books.
We're normal. I will say we are normally more sober when it happens. We normally record the show at like
9 in the morning. But we have had like usually at least like a cookie or two. So there's some sugar highs happening.
Oh, yeah. We have people who are saying they would like more book club events.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, well, this has been really fun, and it's been fun to like hear from you guys who are reading the book like online, like everybody who's been tweeting us and stuff. That's been really cool because it's fun to know because neither of us are in a book club. I'm in one, but I've never gone. But neither of us are in a book club, so it's like fun to be reading the same things other people. We never do that.
Yeah, it was really totally weird to hear what you guys thought, and like again, as with most book clubs, just like looking at the comments, just made me think about things that I hadn't thought about before. You know, just like right then that like Hermes as a person, I was like, wow, I didn't even think about him as a character, but like the way that he affected things, like wow, cool stuff to think about. Yeah. I'm drinking and book clubbing with you too. Oh hell yeah.
Drinking and book clubbing.
Cheers. That. Yeah, thank you guys. Our new episode drops Thursday.
How are you deciding who's getting maps? What is the
Oh, I can't tell you while they are here.
Oh, you're going to go in and be like, you got a map, you got a map, you got a map.
Oprah time! You get a map and you get a map. Also, you know what? I am going to make this easy. If you want a map, say in the chat, map, some form of the words, I want a map.
My mother just said we should tell them about our live event in July.
Your mom is so good. You're the best.
Yeah, we're hosting, if you like this dynamic, and you live in Los Angeles, we're actually hosting a, what do you call it?
So what it is.
It's like, we're going to a bookstore and we're going to talk to Paul Tremblay about his new book, Cabin at the End of the World.
She's Athena. She is Athena.
This is what happens. Like a cat shows up and Mallory loses all, like it's gone. We're gone.
This is the cat that sometimes turns off our podcasting equipment.
That's true. So yeah, July 1st at the last bookstore.
I did not wear this shirt for that reason. I just really like the shirt. So yeah, July 1st, Sunday at 6 p.m. Me and Brea are in conversation with our, with friend of the show, Paul Tremblay. He's an author that we both really, really love. And his new book, Cabin at the End of the World, comes out at the end of this month. It is already my favorite book of the year. I know I'm biased.
It's like the scariest book I've ever read.
It's so good.
So yeah, definitely if you like scary stuff, pick that up. And if you're in LA, come out and see us and come and say hi to us at the event because we never meet people who listen to our podcast. So yeah, it's kind of fun to see.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah. Actually, that's not true. I met someone who listened to the show the other day. It was really crazy.
Okay,
I have to tell you about that after this. But so we're gonna replace the link for this live stream with the link to the live event in all of our stuff in the Instagram bio and stuff. And if you buy a ticket to the show,
people are like map.
If you buy a ticket, I think it's $25 or $26 or something in that range. It basically is guaranteeing you a copy of the book for Paul to sign and a seat. If you've never been to the last bookstore, there's only like 30, 40 seats. And there's a lot of standing room, but getting a ticket ensures basically you buy a copy of the book and you get a seat at this show. So it'll be for an hour and a half. It's me and Brea talking to Paul about the book, about horror, about writing. It's going to be super fun. Paul is fantastic. He's really fascinating. He's a really great speaker. He's an amazing writer. And you guys want this book. Trust me. It is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's good.
His other book, Head Full of Ghosts, is one of our favorite horror books ever.
They're asking you to make it rain maps. Maps. Okay, well, I have my computer open, so we'll figure out who
Grayson, we have not decided if we're going to live record it or not. My partner was like, you guys should totally. And I'm like, I don't even know how to do that.
Well, we might be able to get our sound engineer, Sean, to come out. So if we can convince
our
him
Australian import, Sean.
If we can convince Sean to come out and record it, then
we're going to see.
Available, then we can do it. Yeah.
But we might do it. We will, who knows what we'll,
Yeah, we should. We definitely should, but we're working on it.
It's a lot of work, guys. We're not very good with technical stuff.
But look at us here, live streaming on YouTube.
We did
on YouTube even. But thank you for showing up. We really appreciate it, and we're glad this went so well. It's been super fun, and yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. Talk to you Thursday.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I have to do it.
You do it. Yeah, you press that button. The stop broadcast.